Okay, are we good? Okay, so something really annoying happened. I recorded this entire video and it did not save, so I'm re-recording it again. It's all good. First things first, write down the session times in which you are going to be looking for a setup. This means that at these times, you will be in the market looking for opportunities to buy or sell. You only need these times to be successful in the market. That is it. So, write these down. And then yeah. So, what does the setup look like? The setup looks like a sweep of structure, a change of character, and then a retracement back to a supplier demand zone targeting opposite liquidity or lows. So, if we see here, the structure here got swept. No, it's not a lower high. And then we formed a supply zone, change of character, retracement. Now, let's say in this situation, let's say in this case, this is Asia's session right here. Okay, if this is Asia's session,
Hey,
then
Toby's bro, he got fired?
yeah, he got laid off, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, that guy.
He had to sell his booty, bro.
Yeah, probably.
It's crazy.
How's he gonna live in that apartment? Not gonna be able to afford it.
I don't know what he's gonna do.
I'm trying to get Brendan over there, but
He gotta do something.
yeah, bro. So we have Asia session formed. The high gets swept, taps into our supply zone. Now all we do is target Asia's low. That's all I've been doing. Okay, this is all I've been doing every day. So I'm gonna show you a few examples of this working out, and then so you can see for yourself. So here's a perfect example right here. Let me close my door. Okay, so first things first, we need to identify structure overall. We are bullish. You can see that we are bullish here. We're moving in an upward direction going this way. Okay, we're moving in an upward direction. We're going up. So now we identified that. We need to wait for structure to get broken. So you can see that this low did get broken right here. And we even formulated a newer low. So that's good. Not only that, these green boxes, this is an indicator. So for Gal, and if Ernesto, if you don't have the indicator yet, you come up to indicators, this little thing right here, click on it. You type in Asian range and kill zones. So you're going to type in Asian range and kill zones, and it is by NSR Group. It has 2,234 downloads. You're just going to favorite that, click on it, and let me show you what it looks like when you click on it. So, Asia range. This is what it's going to look like for you at first. You're going to see these little lines up here, stuff like that. You can go ahead and come up to the indicator and come to the little settings icon right here. Now, only have display Asia range. Don't do deviations. You don't need deviations. You just need display the Asia range. Okay. This is London. You can take that off. This is New York. You can take that off. Take this off. Okay, now you can mess around with the color, whatever you want it to be. I just like to keep mine super simple, something I can understand for myself. I keep it gray. So now you're going to have Asia's range. You're going to have Asia sessions high and Asia sessions low. So now that we know that Asia session is one, liquidity, the high and the low of Asia session are money. It's money that we target. The way that the strategy works is we wait for a sweep of the high, and whether or not there's a setup, if there is a setup, we now target the low of Asia, and that is our take profit. Vice versa, if the low gets swept and there's a setup, we tap into a demand zone, we buy up into Asia's high because that's where the money is at. Now, here we have a beautiful, beautiful setup. What makes this a beautiful setup? NZD USD. So, higher high. Okay, we have a higher high. And then we have a lower low formed here. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do you find the setup? Like, why can't I go into the market at any point here and look for a setup? That is the point of our time windows, my child. That is why I'm giving you the time windows. That is why I'm giving you 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. That's why I'm giving you 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 to 8. That is why I'm giving you those times. Whatever times I wrote down and you should have written down in your notes, those are the exact times that you need to be in the market. Because look, this answers your question right here. So, you can see at 11:30 right here, 23:30, 11:30. I'm going to do a little line going straight down, a little vertical line. That is the first time window in which we go look for a setup, okay? Now, I can't remember what time window, time zone I looked and there was a freaking, oh, it was on FXCM, that's why. Okay. First time window, 11:30. I like to go in the market a few minutes before that actual time because if I don't go into the market, if I go into the market at exactly 11:30, you may miss out on all the opportunity. So I go in a few minutes prior, maybe, 15 minutes prior. So I have my thing at 23:15, 11:15. Now, you see the setup already. By 11:30, you will see this setup. So there is no way that you're missing an opportunity. That's why those 3 times are the 3 times. So, boom. Supply. And remember, indecision candles, high probability. If I fib out from the high to the low to get my discounted premium levels, you can see that that indecision candle is as well in the premium levels. So, that's my supply zone that I'm grabbing. Indecision candles, if this was an order block, if it was just one candle like this instead, and my candles are black, so if it was just a straight black candle and then it had 2 wicks on the high and the low, or let's say it didn't even have a wick at the bottom, this is my candle I'm grabbing. If it looked anything like this right here, let's say that it looked like this for a reference, okay? Perfect. Let's say it looked like one solid candle like that. That's still going to be my supply zone, okay? So it can look like this or it can look like that. Either one is a very nice solid supply or demand. So this is a higher probability though. Indecision candles just have really high probability when they look like this, and that is my sell. So now we've identified our sell by our time window. Time and price, that is called time and price aligning. When our windows and price align with each other, then that is an S plus setup. And all I'm going to do is target the Asian low. Why are we going to target the Asian low? Because remember, the high of Asia got swept out. Boom. No more money at the high. The low of Asia is now our next target. And look it swept Asian low. Easily for a 1 to 5. So, this is the setup right here. Perfect example. Some form of liquidity swept. And it doesn't even have to be liquidity. It can just be structure. It can just be like this. As long as this money got swept out, it is still considered a liquidity sweep. But this structure got swept, the liquidity got swept. We formed that supply zone before dropping and changing character here. Now, right after changing character, boom, We form Asia session range. Now, the Asia range is our draw on liquidity. So now the high got swept, tapped into our supply. All we do is target the low of Asia now. This is the setup. This is the money maker. This is the S plus setup right here. I'm going to write it in huge letters because it is an S plus setup. This really is. Every time I've taken this, this is played out. So, now that we know that, equal highs swept, change of character, Asia range, tapped into the supply zone, targeted Asia low. Simple. And why this worked out so nicely, 11:30, 11:30, here's 12:30, and then here's 1:30. By 1:30, it was in our zone, and then it started tanking to the downside. Okay? So, remember that. Time and price need to align. Same thing for Euro USD. Check it out. So, here we have Asia session. Okay? Now, what do you think these two lines indicate? These two lines indicate our time window. And is it coincidence that by our time window range, this is our time window right here, from left to right, this is our time window. Okay, so when the open of our time window and the close of our time window, if there is no setup, there is no trade. So let's look. Asia session, liquidity got swept, Asia's high is gone, we then broke to the downside. Now, how do we know it's a break to the downside? Because this low that formed this high has now been broken here. Okay, and we change character here. Oh no, Asia's low got swept though, this wick. Let me get rid of these lines so it's less confusing. The low of Asia got swept though, this wick. What, do we still take the trade? Yes. Why do we still take the trade? Because one, the setup formed. Okay, the setup already formed. Now, my rule of thumb that I have created is if the high and the low of Asia have gotten swept, but there is still a setup, we now target the new low. We take the same setup that formed, but target the new low that was formed. Why do we target the new low? Because remember, if we're following bearish structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. So what should happen is a new low should be formed and should sweep the previous low made and make a lower low to follow that bearish structure. So lower low, lower high, and what do you know? A lower low. So you target that low. Same entry, all you do is target the new low. Even though Asia's high and low already got swept, there's no more money in the market here. We still follow the structure, and it's that simple. And you can see right after our TP got hit, news came out and created a huge amount of imbalance. You can see this huge imbalance here, and you can bet yourself that this money is going to get targeted soon. I feel like it'll start selling off from where it's at, and it'll target here. So the market's closed, but by market open, this, I feel like it'll come and target this imbalance down here. So it's that simple. Liquidity swept, change of character, supply zone, and remember what our supply zone is. It's an indecision candle or order block, and you can see on the 15-minute, it is a nice indecision candle. What does an indecision candle look like? The anatomy of it is like this, like this, okay, and like this. Okay, that is the anatomy of an indecision candle. I'm gonna move this over so it looks cleaner. So right here you have an indecision candle. So if you see this and it's in like a 79% level, like that, and 70.5 level. You don't got to worry about this though. If it's in a nice obvious area to sell from, then that's a solid zone. You can see the 5 minute is what I took it from exactly though. So you just grab that candle. It's the last candle before the change of character, which is also called an order block. Boom. Done. Change character there. Swept liquidity there. We swept Asian lows there as well. But we still have the setup. And we just target the new low. It's that simple. So. And you can see here a perfect example of a non-quality buy. So. If you were somebody who's barely learning supply and demand, you'd probably be like, oh, look, there's an indecision candle right here. Let me buy from it. And wow, it had a great reaction, right? No. We are already in the sells way up here. What ended up happening was it filled an imbalance to the left. And then it just continued lower. So these people got stopped out. This is not quality. Not quality at all. This is just a demand zone that failed. Our supply zone lasted. Why? Because there was a change of character. There was no change of character here. We had a lower high. We can anticipate a lower low. So that's it. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. I didn't want to go over this one, but I will for the sake of your guys' education in this strategy and everything else. So, what happened here? It missed me by like a hair. By a hair. And I had my pending limit right there and it missed me by a hair. So, you can see higher high, lower low. What ended up happening? Asia sessions low didn't get swept, but Asia session high got swept. I had my entry here, but we barely got missed. But Asia's high got swept. So what do you think price went to next? The low. It's that simple. And when did price hit? Here's 23.30. Boom. That candle right there is 23.30, which is also what? 11.30. We would have seen the setup. You could have put your pending, or if you're not smart like me, you would have stayed in the market and waited for price to get up here and waited for a reaction and entered. But I put a pending. I was tired because it hit by 1:30, our last time window. So our time window starts from here and it ends right there. That's our time window. And you can see the setup again is within our time window. That is why I gave you those times. It's for a reason. Everything is for a reason that I'm teaching you. So I'm going to draw out 2 quality sell and buy examples, and then I'm going to leave it with that. So a quality sell. Structure. It could even be some form of liquidity. Swept. So now we have structure swept equal high swept. Equal high swept out. So now we have our sweep of liquidity. We have our shift structure break, and then we have a change of character. Boom. So if this is a change of character, obviously this structure here had to be higher highs and higher lows to the left. So it had to be like this previously. So this is what it would have looked like. Then structure would have started slowing down. Buyers would have started slowing down. Structure would have got broken again, formed a new high, then a lower low out of nowhere. Now, Asia session time. Asia session is going to consolidate or just form some structure, but it's trapped in this box for a reason. Let me redraw it. This is Asia's session, okay? Now, come our time window, okay? Boom, our time window. Here's 11:30. Hypothetically, this is not the actual times. You can see it's 7 here, but hypothetically, 11:30. Here's 1:30. Boom. This is our time window that we are now looking for a trade. Asia has ended. Now our time window has appeared. So boom. First thing we notice as soon as we hop in the market, what happened? Swept liquidity, broke the structure here, break of structure, and then boom, tank to the downside, change that character. Here's a beautiful indecision candle, hypothetically. Here's a beautiful indecision candle formed. That is our supply zone. Let's fib out, double check. I will do this, but 79% and 70.5. Beautiful. We have our supply zone. So now all we do is patiently wait. Put a pending limit, patiently wait. Our time window. Here's 12:30, the open. Boom, hit 1 o'clock. By 1:30, boom, here's 1:30, tanks. And what do we target? We target that Asia low. Why do we target Asia low? Because the high already got swept. There's no more money to take from the to grab from the high. So we're greedy. We're not greedy. We don't want to be greedy. But you know, we know where the market wants to get its money from next, and that is Asia's low. And it tanks to the downside, and that's it. Okay, that is it. This is the setup right here. This is exactly what you want to see for a quality sell. This is an S plus sell. A plus is Asia session. Okay. Now we have structure. Boom. Asia session just giving us structure. Not really doing much. Then come our time window. Sweeps the high of Asia. And these points have to get up this high in order for price to have formed Asia session there. Okay. So come our time window. The high got swept. And then we change character. Why we changed character is because we were bullish here. We formed a higher high, lower low. We changed the character here. Okay. Then all we do now is wait for a retracement to the supply zone here. Then we take the sell into Asian low. Okay. This is an A plus setup, okay? A plus. Why? Because we'd have to wait for price to give us a solid change of character, and we'd have to wait for that. But come our time period, our time windows, it could be setting up by 11:30, by 12:30, you may see the setup slowly taking place, and by 1:30 you will see the setup already, and then you'll be like, okay, cool, this is a cool setup. A plus for sure. This, however, this is S plus. If you see this, full port your house. Put your house on the line. Now, for a buy, what does a buy look like? We have some sort of bearish structure. Sweep of the structure, making a lower low. Then a change of character. Boom. Change of character. We broke these highs. Made a higher high after making a lower low. Then here comes Asia session. Okay. Here comes Asia. Starts giving us some structure. Then here comes our time window. Our time window now sweeps the low of Asia, because remember, you're reversing it. This is the high, this is the low. So now we sweep the low, we tap into our discounted demand zone. Supply is premium, this demand is discounted. Boom. Now we target that Asia high instead. That's all you do. Here's our time window, 11:30. We see the setup, we put a pending, hits by 12:30. Here's 1:30. and price just takes off and sweeps your TP like nothing. Now, these are S plus. These right here are S plus. This is what you'd want to see formulate to be S plus for a buy, and this is what you'd want to see formulate S plus for a sell. Now let's go see this quality S plus sell in real time. Right here, you have it. Okay. Structure got swept to the upside. Change character to the downside here. Asia session formed like I drew out. Wait for retracement back up to the supply and target opposite end of Asia. That is the exact thing I have drawn here. Let's go check out NZD USD to see a trade that actually hit. So, same exact thing. Structure, equal highs got broken, made a higher high. Change of character, lower low. Asia session formed, retrace back up to the indecision supply zone, sell into Asia's opposition liquidity, which is the low. That's it. These are our time windows. This is the range of the time windows. So this is from 11:30 to 1:30 a.m. and that's our time window, and that is it. Time and price align on all of these setups. That is exactly why I took these. So super quality, super nice setups. These are what you want to see in the market to really be successful, and that's it. We have take profits and we have our entries. That is all you need. Now you need to work on discipline. And I'm going to make more videos. I'm going to explain how to be a disciplined trader, how to overcome fear, all that good stuff. So just have patience, and I'll make more videos. But if you have questions, text me. Both of you have my number, so just text me and then I'll explain everything.